All right. What is up? What is up, YouTube boxing family? It is Zach here out here. I'm back at it with another good live stream for you guys today. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Skywalker Boxing, thank you for coming by. Salute. And yeah, man. I got D Hive coming in, so I will be uploading more episodes to my podcast. I've been a little bit busy with work, so I'm just trying to cool down, and eventually I'll get back into it. And then I have like a whole bunch of boxing edit videos I want to do, and yeah, like I'll get back into it. So yeah, let's get right into it, man. There's a lot of great conversation that we have, obviously with Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, and a lot of great controversy in the sport. And what I like to say is that we have a lot of historical context to break down of what could happen. And the problem is just that we're in a really good time in boxing. I will be the first one to say that the sport of boxing is the sport of boxing is in a really good spot, and I think honestly, that's really what makes up the sport great. When we have good fights every now and then, and everything that's building off of it, we tend to have you know I don't know, there's always like a good and bad era of good fights and bad fights in boxing. But I think as of now, where people are saying boxing is dead, I wouldn't say so. I think boxing is taking over. Boxing has always been taking over. Boxing has never went downhill. It's always going to have its up and downs, but the sport of boxing is on fire right now. Before I get to that, let me respond to Tim's comment. He said, "What's up, bro? I wanted to ask if you would hype up a cruiserweight undefeated fighter out of Inglewood, California. He has a fight coming up, and I can get you a interview." Sean McEwen, or okay, Sonny McEwen. Yeah, sure. Like it doesn't matter. Like I don't care. If he needs help with, helping his advertisement for his career, like yeah, like I don't care. Yeah, like I'll get him on. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he's a 6-0 cruiserweight, 32 years old. Okay. Yeah, sure, like I don't care. Yeah, just have him to contact me, and we'll do something. But yeah, I mean honestly, man, the sport of boxing is definitely in a really good spot right now. And I think the biggest thing that I could really take away from it is that there's a lot of great fights that are coming up in the future, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And here we go, we got Diaz here. Yeah, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Oh, I can't hear anything. Hold on.
Wow. Yeah, Skywalker Boss said he's monster. Yo, fighter. Okay. He's a monster yo fighter, and he asked me to hype him up. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. It doesn't matter with me. Like, I mean, I'm just in it just to do what I do. But yeah, man, it doesn't matter. If he needs any form of helping out, by all means, like I'm down. It's just that as long as you're putting in the work and you're not, you know, turning down big opportunities, then I'll take time out of my day to help him out. But either way, it's all up to get like what he does in his career. So I'm not really like honestly, like I'm really not big into like the cruiserweight division. I've always thought of it to be a very weak division. To even be honest in boxing. All right, we got D. Yeah, what's up, man?
All right, cool. I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right, we're good.
Monster.
All right.
Yeah, monster.
What is the topic of discussion today?
Oh man. Well, first things first. I'm letting everybody know, but I am going to the Virgil Ortiz and Montestanonis fight down in Texas. I'm gonna get my
Yeah,
tickets.
man, that shit gonna be dope.
Yeah, and honestly, like I don't understand why it's out at the College Park area down in Arlington, but that should really be in Dallas. Like I don't know why Colby Golden Boy has that venue, but it doesn't matter. Like
They
I
can't
want to have
they
like a
can't
really good
take a
time.
they can't take a risk like that on Virgil because they don't know what his actual drawing power is. Because he's been able to sell out his events, but they don't know if he's really gonna do all that damage in that in like a bigger venue. So, and not to mention Stanionis himself is cool, but a lot of people aren't even really high on Stanionis or barely know about him, so they don't want to take that kind of risk or risk that kind of exposure on some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna it's gonna be like electric. So like I think like this is like the perfect fight to really get the welterweight division going now.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna decide who's it's gonna decide the WBA who's probably gonna inherit the belt once Spence vacates. But yeah, no, I mean it's definitely gonna be a banger. At first, I was leaning Stanionis by decision, but since he had the appendix surgery, and I'm like, nah, I don't know. He's fresh off that surgery, so I'm gonna lean Virgil. I don't think Virgil gonna stop him though.
Yeah, like I don't know, I'm feeling like Stanionis has a point to prove because like he's been super inactive. Like the last time he ever fought is like literally the Errol Spence fight, and I'm like, wow, like you took all that time off, like after the Butayev fight.
That's because he wants the title shot. He wants a shot at Errol Spence, but it's not going to happen. And I'm pretty sure not a lot of people really want to fight Stanionis like that. Stanionis is not a big name, but he can beat the shit out of you. I'm not saying that he's like Jaron Ennis level, but he's like right beneath that. He's a guy that could easily whoop your ass. Like for example, somebody like Crawford would not fight Stanionis.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crawford. That would be too high risk because fucking Stanionis before this little appendix thing, I had him beating Virgil. So if he beats Virgil, there's nobody over at Golden Boy, DAZN, or any of the other promotions that he can't beat. He'll definitely smoke all of Top Rank's welterweight stable. They're fucking trash. So yeah, no, I mean, not a lot of people are just lining up saying, "Oh, let me fight Stanionis," because Butayev thought some shit was sweet because he beat him in the amateurs, and Butayev got the shit beat out of him.
Yeah. I just don't know how this fight's gonna play because I really feel like Virgil he's gonna have all this high and mighty overconfidence to think Stanionis is gonna be easy money, but I think this is a true 50-50 fight still, but if anything, yeah, I think Virgil his best chance of beating him is just beating him to at the cards because Stanionis he got a chin. I'm not gonna disrespect him. He's really he's like a tank version of almost like a I don't even want to put him next to any great fighter, but if you could think of any good fighter from the past,
Stanionis is like a more talented version of Triple G, to be honest.
Yeah. I was just about to say that because he has
that's what it reminds me of. Because if Triple G was a fighter that went to the body more, he would look like Stanionis.
Yeah. Yeah, Stanionis. Honestly, if he had more fundamentals to know how to box with all that heavy loaded shots that he throws, and he knew how to move with the power, I think he would be a much bigger threat. But still, it still favors to your argument that Jaron Ennis would still be way more deadlier than him.
Stanionis is more fundamentally sound than Virgil. Virgil's just stronger and faster.
Yeah, I just don't know how it's just gonna play out because at this point it's does it really mean that either man's gonna be written off if they lose to each other? So I mean, this is
not at all.
Yeah.
No, neither one would be written off because I mean Stanionis has actually proven himself against some of the top companies. Like Stanionis has the better resume. So if he whoops, because Butayev will knock everybody that Virgil's ever fought, Butayev would knock the fuck out. So let's get that out of there. So if Stanionis were to clear Virgil, and Virgil gets he's a young kid who went against veterans, blah 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 blah. And if Virgil beats Stanionis, I got to hear about how Virgil would whoop boots and all this bullshit. But the truth of the matter is that there's no version of either one of these people that beats Boots. But that's neither here nor there. But no,
Yeah,
I don't think any either one of them would lose credit. I don't think the loser is going to lose his reputation as a top level welterweight. That's like when someone gets beat up by Spence. I mean, you're supposed to lose to Spence, so you don't lose your position as a top tier fighter because you lost to another top tier fighter. That don't make no sense.
yeah. I just think honestly, people need to start, getting away from like the undefeated record mindset. Hysteria in boxing because like I think too many people are just clung on to the fact that you need to be undefeated if you're gonna, beat everybody that's good, and it's like not all of your favorite fighters that are at the upper echelon are going to stay undefeated. Like there's just no way. And
Well, people only big up an undefeated record when they want to give somebody credit where it's not due. Like for example, Canelo's 168 run. People were not even talking about super middleweight until Canelo went there. But in order to justify his actions as fighting top competition, he goes to this random division that no one's checking for. Everyone just says, "Oh, well, they're undefeated champions, so they're automatically good." But then when you have people like Charles Martin and Bermain Stavern, suddenly all of a sudden it takes more than being undefeated or more than being an undefeated champion. So people just say that shit to big up, to give certain fighters credit. That's all. More credit than they actually deserve.
yeah, um, I was gonna ask about the whole thing with what's going on with the man like I just saw uh something with Canelo Alvarez. I think like he's now is he like fighting John Ryder in Mexico now? That's what I'm hearing, right?
I have no idea, and to be honest, I don't really give a shit. I mean, I haven't really been checking for that fight because it's a non-issue to me. Like I really couldn't care less. But that's not what I've heard. But if you know something I don't, then you know. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't have any news on that fight because I truly don't care. I haven't given a fuck about Canelo Alvarez's career since he fought Liam Smith, and that doesn't appear to be changing because he's still fighting the same level of comp as people like Liam Smith and shit. So you know,
yeah.
and this is even worse because John Ryder lost to his
Um,
leftovers. So it's like you're really fighting the leftovers of your fucking leftovers. Like Jesus Christ, this is some Crawford level shit. Crawford just fought Evan who lost to fucking Green Beans, and now this nigga's fighting John Ryder, who's not only lost 5 times plus been knocked out, but he also lost to Callum Smith, a nigga you've already fought. Like it's just I'm not checking for these dudes. I want dudes like Canelo and Terrence Crawford and them to fucking retire, wasting time.
yeah, yeah. I was also gonna say, from what I'm hearing, with like 168, David Benavidez and Plant will be the mandatory to Canelo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it sounds good. I haven't watched any tape on him, but Canelo's IBF mandatory is an unknown Cuban named William Skull, who's 20-0. So I think Benavidez is going to cook Plant, and to be honest, I don't see Canelo fighting Benavidez. So I'll probably take a risk on Skull.
Yeah, fight William Skull.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never seen him. I've never really seen him fight. So maybe that dude's good, but I don't know.
yeah. I mean, he only got 9 knockouts, so I don't think he's gonna
Right.
keep
So
himself.
that should tell you everything you need to know right there.
Yeah. But speaking of other 168 fights, I'm excited for Diego Pacheco fighting this weekend. So
All right.
he's gonna fight Jack Cullen.
Yeah, I'm not enthusiastic about Jack Cullen, but yeah, Diego Pacheco getting the show out. That's what's up. I honestly thought, I honestly think, that what's his name, Berlanga and Pacheco is actually good smoke. To be honest.
Yeah, like I've been like mentioning that to Diego Pacheco in his recent posts, and I told him like yo, like we got to get this fight with you and Berlanga now that he's with Matro.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
people are saying that Belong automatically gets knocked out. Blah blah blah. Belong is a big motherfucker, and we haven't seen his chin tested too much. He did get dropped once, but he's a big guy. He is pretty strong, so you're not just going to get in there and then knock him out like it's easy. We have seen Diego Pacheco use his range, use his reach, use his jab, but we've seen him work mostly from outside the from we've seen him mostly work. We've seen him mostly work from the outside and mid range. We have seen very little inside work from Diego Pacheco, especially against someone as stocky as Berlanga. So that's still an interesting matchup to me.
yeah, and I think David Morrell would have the same outcome with him too.
Oh man, David Morrell beat the shit out of both of them. That now that's when you're talking uncompetitive fights. David Morrell smoked both those dudes.
Yeah,
Pacheco and Berlanga, he knocks them both the fuck out. I can see that right now.
yeah, I think David Morrell is gonna fight Carlos Gongora probably next fight, or if anything, like I'm not gonna say like I'm not gonna predict of the future, but if he fights Christian and Billy, that black French dude, like I'm gonna be really shocked if that fights next because Christian, he's a monster. That man is like literally like the Goro at 168.
He's good, but I watched this fight with Vaughn Alexander. I don't think I don't think he's going to. I don't think he'd fight David Morrell. To be honest, I don't think he'd make that next. David Morrell needs to fight the winner of Plant versus Benavidez. That's who he needs next. Because
Yeah,
Canelo's not going to fight Benavidez after he wins. He's not. And
yeah,
honestly, at this point, I don't even think Canelo will fight Plant again. Because what for? That'll be some boring shit.
yeah. It's just not gonna make sense politically. Um,
Like I really don't believe that he would fight Plant again. Because why? Like that's stupid shit. Because it's probably going to end the same way. Because we've all seen what happens when Plant gets cracked. That's what happens.
yeah,
So yeah, but I mean that would be a good fight. But I think again, Morel will probably beat the shit out of Christian Billy because we've seen him. He smothers a lot of his work on the inside. He doesn't give himself a lot of punching room, and Morel's longer, taller, faster, bigger, stronger, all that shit.
yeah. I was also gonna say like the biggest problem that I tend to see with both David Morrell and Christian and Billy is that they tend to plant too much, on the inside, and they leave themselves wide open to get hit. And I think what the weird thing about a lot of these punchers in the division is that they always leave themselves wide open for that one big shot to get themselves hurt. And I think it's gonna be interesting, once we start seeing what the names that we want to see everybody in there with. But I think like the top deadliest fighters in the division is definitely David Benavidez, David Morrell, and I probably put maybe hmm, I probably put maybe borderline Caleb Plant, but I only use that for the sake of saying that they have certain skill sets that keeps up the division very competitive.
No, Plant can definitely fight. Like I think Plant will probably beat up. Uh, I think Plant will probably beat Billy by decision. To be quite honest, because Billy, like I said, he smothers his work, doesn't give himself a lot of punching room, and he's slow on his feet. That's one of the.
Yeah,
That's another one of the reasons. Yeah, that's another one of the reasons why I think that Morel Jr. will probably clear him. But no, I mean, it's interesting. It's getting good now. The division is actually heating up some, but yeah, no. I mean, we just gotta see. We gotta see.
yeah. I find that very interesting. Uh, I mean, I think honestly, when it comes down to it, like once Canelo's done with boxing, I think it's gonna be just like 160 after like Triple G, and I don't want to say Charlo yet, but I would definitely say at once Triple G and Canelo are gone, I think 160 and 168 will be a lot more interesting to talk about because everybody keeps saying that they're not good divisions, but it's like I think the talent's just it's just at a freeze right now. It's not like that it's doing bad right now. It's just it's in a rebuilding mode until there's like newer, names coming in.
Well, the difficult part about that is that the two top guys in the division that everyone claims, hold on, the two top guys in the division that everyone claims everyone should be fighting, the fans have given them permission to either fight each other or fight complete garbage. So you're effectively stalling some of the best fights in the goddamn division. That's number one. Number two, the talent at 160 is rather limited because you got guys that are washed from 154 coming up to 160, hoping they can make a better name for themselves. And then you got guys at 160 that are just like, straight up retiring. So, I mean, the talent pool is limited at those divisions, but there's more going on than just that. But the divisions are ass. 160 and 168 is honestly 168 has been talent limited or talent deprived since like Roy Jones, bro. Like, I mean, well, since Andre, I mean, even Andre Ward. People will say Andre Ward fought in a weak ass division, but then give Canelo all this credit. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Like, because there are multiple niggas that Andre Ward fought that I don't think Canelo would beat. So it's like,
no.
So it's like if Andre Ward fought in a weak ass era of 168, then what the fuck did Canelo do? Because then nobody like the division was so ass that like Canelo's fans weren't even asking him to go to 168. They weren't even asking him. I can't recall any Canelo fans that said, "Oh yeah, go up and dominate 168." They didn't ask for that shit.
Yeah. I would still keep hearing like these weird these weird like fantasy matchup, idiots and in boxing, casual debates, right? Where they say Andre Ward would still get beat up by Canelo in his prime, blah, blah, blah. And, they're still using this like, oh, well, fighters from the past automatically beat fighters from, fighters today, type of thing. Or they just try to flip it, right? And, I'll have like it's at the similar situation that I brought up with Gervonta Davis and Roberto Duran, and I'm just like, you guys realize that styles, that styles still do make fights, and the thing is that you're just playing emotional politics to try to hate on a fighter that you just personally don't like at the end of end of the day.
Well, a lot of people haven't really watched enough boxing to actually be able to be able to definitively say that one fighter will beat up another, whether that be past or present. So a lot of the time, they'll just say that the old school fighter will beat the new school fighter because that's what they think that most people will like. But the reality is it's not true. And if anything, boxing has gotten more competitive simply based on access to information. Now people can actually watch tape. Beforehand, you'd have to like really do you'd have to have some serious spycraft to get a hold of a fighter's sparring footage, or you'd have to watch all the fights and make your judgment from there. Now we have years and years and years and years of tape that we can actually study, and that makes fighters more dangerous. Not to mention, more fighters now than ever are more defensively responsible because they can practice technique, again, from being able to review tape. So, if anything, I'd say now we have more competitive boxing. But the thing is that the training was different. The training and the food quality was different. The quality of food back then is probably much better than it is today. And also, a lot of fighters back then trained for pure athleticism and endurance as opposed to strength and conditioning. Now knockouts are harder to get because not only are fighters more educated on defensive fundamentals, but glove technology has changed. Back before the 1990s, all gloves were pretty much horsehair by default. Only around the late 80s and 90s did different companies start experimenting with foam and like EVA foam and all these different protections. So now a knockout is much harder to get, but still the fans' preferences haven't changed from the past. So if you want to gain a large fan base, you got to get a lot of knockouts. So that's why a lot of fighters train specifically for strength and conditioning as opposed to pure athleticism like they used to. And also another thing is back in the day, you used to have to go 15 rounds. You used to have to go 15 rounds and things like that. So your athleticism had to be good. That's why people threw a lot more punches. So and also back in the day, fan preferences for fights were more mature. Now that you got a lot of fucking kids on the internet who worship celebrities, a lot of fights will get killed in the court of public opinion. Back in the day, if you wanted the most money, you had to actually fight the best. Now you can get a king's ransom for fighting bullshit because your fans say so. So that's one of the other things that have definitely not helped boxing at all.
Yeah, I agree. I think fighters from the past generations, like a Jack Johnson or Joe Louis or Gene Tunney, like those guys were like real fighters. Like those guys were always taking on the best challenges because they wanted to be great and be recognized and go down in the history books to be looked at as a vision for historical preference. And
Shit, you don't even have to go that far back. You can go back to the '80s with Hearns and Hagler and
Aaron's
and Sugar Ray Leonard. Them niggas weren't about to make a bunch of bread fighting garbage. They had to fight each other.
yeah, I was just putting that out there just to say, like, those guys had like a much more prideful, mindset to take the sport more seriously and actually be recognized for their hard work.
Well, it's 50-50 on the mindset, but also more so, I think it's the fans. Because if you recall, Sugar Ray Leonard was acting like he didn't really want to fight Hagler. So I think back in those days, if fans had encouraged Sugar Ray Leonard to stay the fuck away from Hagler, he probably would have done so. But fans were pushing him for that fight. Nowadays, because people fall in love with boxers instead of boxing, a lot of fans will encourage their favorite fighter to stay away from certain people. Like Canelo fans do not want Canelo fighting Charlo. They don't want him fighting Benavidez. They don't want him fighting Morrell Jr. They don't want him fighting Beterbiev. They don't want him fighting any fucking body. Just like Tanks fans don't want him fighting Devin Haney. Just like fucking Triple G fans don't want him fighting Charlo or Lara or anybody fucking dangerous. Mungia's little fan base don't want him fighting anybody. And fucking Ryan Garcia's bitch ass fans, despite the fact that they foolishly think Ryan Garcia can do something with Tank, they don't want Ryan Garcia fighting anybody either. They don't want Ryan Garcia fighting anybody unless it's for a massive bag or whatever. Just like they don't want Usyk fighting Wilder. Like a lot of these fans, that's why I say fights get killed in the court of public opinion because a lot of these bitch ass fans get attached to they get attached to a particular fighter. They treat them like celebrities. Just like Crawford fans don't really want Crawford fighting Spence or Boots because they're afraid he's gonna fucking lose. So that's why a lot of that's like I said, that's why I keep saying a lot of fights, a lot of fans are smart now and they realize that you can kill fights in the court of public opinion. Because now look at Tank versus Ryan. Look at Tank versus Ryan. Two fucking contenders fighting simply because they're popular. That's like people keep saying, "Oh, we're gonna have a fight. This is the Super Bowl of boxing." The fuck? It's just Ryan Garcia and Tank. Ryan Garcia has done fewer numbers, has a lower sales history, has a worse resume, and has no fucking career accomplishments than Devin Haney. But people are saying this is the fight. No, you bitch dudes just don't want Tank fighting anybody. And that's the reality. It's just like they keep saying, "Oh, Canelo and Ryder makes sense." Just like now, motherfuckers are saying Canelo and Berlanga makes sense. The fuck? No, you bitch dudes just don't want these people fighting anybody because you're in love with the guy. Like they're not in love with the sport, and that's another key. That's how you can tell who's actually been watching boxing for a long time and who just started watching boxing after Mayweather fucking retired. Like you can tell right there when you see people that are worshiping individual celebrities and shit. It's mostly just kids or fucking weird dudes who didn't really get into boxing until like after Floyd retired or right when the pandemic started. You can fucking tell, bro. Because whenever I mention boxing before, like either at or before the HBO era, motherfuckers don't even know what I'm talking about. Motherfuckers don't even know what I'm talking about.
I think it's just so weird and funny because like all these like little young boys and girls that are talking about boxing, it's like most of you guys have never been to a boxing fight, and you've never walked inside like a gym, and you've never seen what happens inside boxing gyms. Whenever they're talking like about, oh, like these guys are so super tough, but they have no balls to do X, Y, and Z outside of boxing, blah blah blah. Like they don't understand like the lifestyle that fighters have to go through, before and after fights. Like you guys will never get to that level because most of you will never go like most people won't even go like 2-3 rounds, in a professional boxing fight.
Well, yeah, and also one thing people gotta understand: it's okay to admit if a fighter is fucking scared. Yes, I understand they're combat sports athletes, and there's a chance of death every time they get in the ring. But that proves my point, and that actually proves my point as opposed to disproving my point. With death comes a level of fear, and there are certain fighters who are indeed afraid to fight other fighters because of what that can do to their career, the effect on the longevity of their body, and the general risk that comes into it. Y'all think that fighters really can't differentiate skill level simply because they box? It's like someone fighting. Who can I think of? Okay, yeah, it's like somebody fighting Abel Ramos at welterweight versus fighting Jaron Ennis. You don't think fighters can tell? Or even better, it's like someone fighting your Dennis Ugas versus Jaron Ennis. Like, you don't think that fighters can tell one is significantly riskier than the other? One guy has damn near 30 knockouts and one guy has 12. Like, I understand Ugas has fought tougher competition, but there are some people that weren't shit that he went the distance with. So it's like let's relax here. Like, fighters can tell, and the thing is that's not a bad thing. Being responsible with your career and understanding your limitations is very important for your longevity. But you guys got to call a spade and stop trying to defend these people. Some of these fighters are fucking scared to get the shit beat out of them, as they should be. Like for example, Ados, your Boston elite, was beat within an inch of his goddamn life, and he should have had the sense to stop. But he tried to do all that bad Billy Badass Rambo gung ho shit, and he almost fucking died. Let me show you where fear saved someone's life. Look at Ponce versus Subra Matias. Ponce was doing well for the first, first 4 rounds. Matias started to put that heat on him. After the fifth, he said, "Fuck this shit. No, I'm not fighting this dude anymore. No, I will fight some other people because I do not want to fucking die." Because he felt that power, he felt what Matias can do, and he decided to save himself. That was fear, but that was intelligent. Same with Hector Luis Garcia and Tank. Fucking Tank cracked his ass upside the head, and he said, "You know what? This shit isn't worth it. I'm gonna take my money. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go back to where I'm still a champion, and I'm gonna beat some other people." That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense, and I think that the difference between that versus like fighters that want to keep going that are in such a good winnable fight, like it's still it's still like a double-edged sword to determine, do you still want to keep going after you and the other opponent are beating each other to death, and you know that your life could easily be shut down if one punch hits you right. And I think honestly, like, I don't know if it should be like a thing being put for like medical purposes, but I think, like, I would say, like, there should be like some form of like doctor screening, in between rounds to make sure that a fighter is not like gonna die, or at least like have some
Well,
form.
they do. They do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. That happens all the time. I mean, just last weekend, someone got stopped based on the doctor. What the doctor said. Someone actually got stopped. I forget. I can't recall which fire. And
Jared
huh?
Hurd.
Yeah,
Jared Hurd.
yeah. There you go. Yeah, it escaped me because I'm driving right now. But yeah, Judd Hurd. Judd Hurd literally just came in and got fucking stopped. He came in and got he came in and got stopped by fucking goddamn it. Also, Amilcar Vidal. Amilcar Vidal also. Yeah, Amilcar Vidal also got stopped. He got stopped by the referee, but still, stuff like that. So that stuff does happen.
Yeah.
Jared Hurd. Who the fuck did Jared Hurd just fight? It's
He
escaping me.
got stopped by Armando Resendez.
Right, there we go. Yeah, Resendez is the guy that got beat up by Marcos Hernandez. Weirdly enough, but yeah, no. But yeah, no. Resendez is a decent operator. Like I said, Marcos Hernandez gave him, I think, his first L. But yeah, no, exactly. That's a perfect example because Jared Hurd takes a lot of fucking punishment. He does.
Yeah, he don't move
But
his
that's
head.
yeah, he doesn't move his head. He has that lame ass Philly shell. Doesn't keep his left or his right hand up over his goddamn skull. So, that's gonna happen. But yeah, no, that's yeah. But no, the doctors do come in and check. Are you saying they should do it more often?
Oh, for what?
Are you saying that doctors should do that more often?
Yeah. Just to like have like periodical checkups, just to make sure a fighter's not gonna, just decay in a fight before they ever reach a point of possible death.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, but that would like delay fights. That would make fights last longer and fuck up the programming and all that stuff. But no, I get what you're saying. But that's also where having an experienced corner comes in. Like I said, Ponce in his corner, very experienced. And keep in mind that they had an undefeated fighter. They had an undefeated fighter who had barely been in any legitimate trouble, like barely. Like that Lewis Ritson fight, Ritson hit him with like maybe one or two good shots because Ponce hasn't really fought anybody. So that was a very experienced corner because undefeated, hardly been rocked, hardly really experienced a lot of adversity. They knew after the fifth round, and that was the only round where Matias turned the tide. They knew right then with the shots that Matias put together. They said, "Oh hell no!" They were like, "No, this man is gonna fucking destroy you." They said, "Fuck this shit. We gotta get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, it's very funny that you bring that up because leading up to the build up about the fight, a lot of these weird ass like dumb casual boxing fans were trying to say, "Oh, Ponce would beat the crap out of Matias. Matias gets hit too much." And then, once they were watching like the fight, they went completely silent and they were like, "Oh, well, Ponce, he was never that good to begin with anyway. He doesn't move his head, and he's not that good." And they literally just like contradicted themselves. And like I always hate people like that talk a fighter that they obviously don't study on, and then they hype up about the other fighter that hasn't fought any good competition and prepared themselves for a world title fight. But it's like for stuff like that, it's just like the copy and paste mechanism that a lot of dumb boxing casuals use to try to discredit a victory for a fighter that beat a hyped up fighter, right?
Well, I personally, I mean, my take on it. I personally gave Ponce no fucking chance because I've seen Ponce fight, but I'm not gonna lie, he did better than I thought he would do against Matias, but the result was the same. Uh, don't get me wrong, Ponce. Honestly, I think Ponce, if he works a little bit on his defensive responsibility, keeps his head off the line, he could be this era's Lucas Matisse. He could be the next Lucas Matisse because he's from Argentina. And a lot of dudes at 140, he beat the shit out of. Like Teofimo, he'll smoke Teofimo. Teofimo,
Yeah,
he'll beat the shit out
he
of
would.
Teofimo. But
See,
but yeah, when I was watching the first three rounds, I'm like, okay, Ponte's doing well, but all this is doing is pissing Matias off. Like it's not hurting him or anything. All it's doing is pissing him off. Cause I mean, Matias had his elbows tucked. He was still getting hit to the body. He was hooking with him, but Ponce played right into Matias's game. If Ponce was smarter, he would have tried to slow it down and win a couple more rounds before taking it to Matias's body to get some of the steam off. But Ponce went head up with him when Matias had a lot of energy. That was dumb. That was a dumb game plan. And once I saw the third round, I said, "Oh hell no! All this is doing is making Matias fucking mad. This fight's about to be over." And then the fifth round, they didn't even want anymore. And I'm like, yeah, because you played right into his hands.
yeah, I was predicting the fight to go late game, but
Shit, I
yeah,
didn't. I said the shit wouldn't go six.
yeah. I mean, I literally was thinking Matias, was gonna kill him because he was just ripping his life away after the third or fourth round, and then every time when Ponce cracked, to Matias's shot, he just he had this little jolting moment where his body just felt like he was about to die.
Yeah, it was like the difference. It was like the difference between Charlo and Castano. Castano would hit Charlo with his best shit, and Charlo wouldn't really. Sorry, I'm being cut off in traffic right now. Anyways, Charlo Castano would hit Charlo with his best shit, and like Charlo would barely move. Charlo would hit Castano once, and that motherfucker would go flying.
Yeah.
So it's just that's the difference. Like when it comes to the power.
Yeah, and it's not even like about that. Like power shouldn't be anything to focus on in a fight. Like I think too many like dumb casuals look at that and say, oh well, whoever hits harder automatically wins, and it's like, no, that's not true. Like power is just a plus in a fight. What makes a fight competitive is technique and skill, and also the ring IQ let the ring IQ strategy to help you win.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, power is ultimately nothing when you can't apply it. Like, to be honest, but Matias is a good boxer. One thing, I mean, well, he's not a great boxer, but he's decent. One thing I don't like is that Matias. One thing I don't like is that Matias, for this fight, he abandoned his jab. That's why he got hit so much. That I don't like.
I agree
With Petros Ananian in the second fight, and with Malik Hawkins, he was jabbing. With Ponce, he didn't jab. That was stupid. I'm like, this is why you're getting your ass beat, because you're not jabbing. Why the fuck aren't you jabbing? If Matias had a jab, honestly, if Matias had a good jab, I don't think anybody could beat him. That's no bullshit. Because he's the better BF. No, seriously. He's the better BF of 140. He's the better BF of 140, but he got no fucking jab. That's the only reason why he lost to Petros Ananian. That's the only reason why he lost to Petros Ananian the first time, because there's no fucking jab.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know what the fuck his team is doing. They only need to fix that one thing.
Yeah, just jab more. It just always use your jab first, and then combine it with like all the other combinations that he's good at. Like
honestly, and stop standing in front of people. Like either go all the way in punching or stay all the way out and have your high guard up. Stop just hanging in the pocket with people. But he just sat there and took a lot of Ponce shots. I'm like, if you were doing that with somebody like Regis, you'd be in deep shit.
Yeah. I was even gonna say about like the Regis Prograis thing, but I find it real funny that Prograis thinks that after the Matias victory, like he's like entitled to like not do anything in response to the call out, and like I saw like the video that that Matias posted saying to Regis that he'll put him inside the hospital, and Regis is out here acting all funny, trying to like make excuses to say, oh well, he's not that good, blah blah blah, and he's not even like making any moves to even try to make that fight.
Yeah, I don't know Regis. I'm kind of smelling some vaginal energy from Regis, because Regis is talking a lot of shit. Well, first off, I don't like when Regis said he didn't want to fight another southpaw. I'm like, nigga, you just said you've been fighting like 5-6 southpaws in a row. What the fuck is wrong with you? You yourself are a southpaw. What the fuck is your problem? But the thing is too, Matias isn't a southpaw. He's also a champion. So Regis is talking all this big shit about how he'll whoop some ass. I'm like, well then let's get it, player. What the fuck? What are we doing? So I personally don't think Regis is gonna fight Matias next. I think he's either gonna try to fight like bullshit Catterall, which is gonna be some dumb shit because Catterall's a southpaw.
Catterall, honestly, here's my prediction: if Catterall beats Regis, then Subriel versus Catterall, like Subriel's gonna whip him, and then Taylor.
Catterall not gonna be Regis, dog.
Really?
Regis gonna man. Catterall ain't shit. What? Because you think what? Because he beat up Josh Taylor, all of a sudden Catterall some damn body. Josh Taylor might not make it past Teofimo.
Josh Taylor's at the like no. This is like how the casuals view Jack Catterall. Number 1 or top 10 because he should have arguably whipped Josh Taylor, so that means he beats Regis Prograis.
I mean, Josh Taylor technically has a W over Regis Prograis, and I think Josh Taylor lost that fight. But I've seen Regis Prograis against decent opposition. Not to mention, he just knocked Zepeda smooth the fuck out of here. I know Zepeda got knocked out before by
Terry Flanagan.
yeah, by Flanagan. Yeah, I know Zepeda got knocked out before, but still, he was on a hot streak. He's very tough, very durable. He took like some heavy punches from Baranchik, who's all power. So yeah, I'm gonna give Regis some credit on that. But I think Regis will smoke Josh Taylor if they have a rematch, and I think that Regis will smoke Catterall because just because Josh Taylor was struggling with him, that doesn't come on.
I mean, I don't even know what's gonna happen in the future, but like, I'm just hoping Gary Antoine Russell, like, if he gets his weird, well, look, I'm not gonna disrespect him, but it's like if he like just goes straight into like the world title contention, in which he should have fought Puello, from what from the beginning. Now that he's fighting on the undercard of Rolly versus Puello, but if he could get his hands on to Regis Prograis, I think that might be the guy to beat Regis.
I don't know about all that anymore because they apparently were not ready for Playo, and Playo really can't punch. He has 10 knockouts to his name.
Yeah,
Regis is like what 26-1 with 22 knockouts or some shit like that. Like yeah. If you're not ready for Pollo, Regis should probably tax that ass. I'm not
and
so. So
are
they
we
need
gonna
to
get
just.
the Matias?
Oh yeah, I mean, Regis is a better boxer than Subriel, so I give Gary Antoine Russell a better chance against Subriel than I would Regis because Regis is power and can box well, so that's hard. But yeah, no. If they're having issues about Puello, I don't think they're gonna rush at Regis. So they need to just do whatever they're gonna do, tighten up, and then get back in the title contention because apparently they're over here turning down title shots for whatever reason. They said they weren't ready. I don't know. I don't know who they're gonna fight. I think they're gonna fight Lipinets or somebody else. But I'm like, man, Lipinets hits harder than fucking hits harder than Puello. So I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
what the fuck they plan to do.
I was hearing that he's gonna fight Kent Cruz on the Rolly versus Puello card.
Oh, Ken Cruz. Okay, yeah. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, that's. I mean, hey, if they feel that they need a tuner, then I'm not their team. So if that's what they feel they need to do, great. Hopefully he gets back in shape and can get in the title contention because Gary Anton Russell was supposed to be running 140. Now he's running from motherfuckers at 140. That's weird.
Yeah, like I was like really pissed off, when I heard about it because shout out to Just Do Boxing. He was like the one that brought up like initially, but once I looked at what he was saying from like other articles that were speculating on it, I was just like, dude, like this doesn't make you look good like at all. Like you should have took the title shot with Puello and whatever happens out of it happens. Like, who cares if you lose? Like, a world title shot's never gonna go away after you lose your first opportunity, if you ever did. But guess what? You can, you can get that experience and just keep getting better. And actually, like another good fighter that's like, that I definitely like. That fights at 160. I don't know if you know Elijah Garcia. He had his recent fight with Vidal,
He just
but
beat
I actually
Amakar Vidal, right?
yeah. Um,
Oh,
I
okay.
was actually talking with him, through the chat, on Mo Boxing's channel, Mo Boxing No Problem. But basically, like I brought up with the fact, like, why is it that a lot of fighters today are not testing themselves with a lot of tough opposition in their young early career? And I was making, like a good point about it to say, like, a lot of people want to take the elevator versus not taking, let the stairs, at a young age. And they figure that, let me get a manufactured career where I'm not being in there with killers, but then once it's time to fight somebody that's ready to knock your head off, you get put into this, deep water situation where it's a catch-22 principle where, it's either you're going to sink or swim. And, Elijah, he made like a really good point to say, like, I'd rather take these opportunities now while I'm young. And by the time when I hit, like my actual prime, it's like, he already knows what to do. And I think that's how it should be. You should see where you are, in your younger years, and then as you age better, just carefully move up through the ladder to fight guys that are in your skill department, and then just get better. But Gary Antoine Russell, he's a perfect example of that. He wants to take the elevator instead of taking, the stairs.
Well, I like Elijah Garcia. He looks like a strong middleweight, but I'm gonna keep it 100. Last time, last time out, Amilcar Vidal fought Emmanuel Laline. I scored that fight personally, and I had Vidal losing, and he was in there. He was in there getting tagged with some shit. I personally thought Laline beat him on points, but that's just me. Now, I'm not saying that Elijah Garcia and his team didn't take a good challenge against an undefeated strong puncher. However, I do believe that if Amilcar Vidal had done something crazy like whoop Aleem's ass or knock him out, I don't think their team would have been as eager to take this fight. Because I think that Elijah's team saw what I saw. They watched his
Yeah.
last fight. They watched his last fight and said, he's big and he's strong, but he can be outmaneuvered and he does keep his hands down. And they capitalized on all that, which is great. But like I said, I think that if Vidal had done something crazy, like really whoop Aleem's ass or knock him out, I don't think that their team would have been as eager to take this. And that's no disrespect. That's just real shit.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. 'Cause also stating on Mo's show saying like, well, me and like my team, we do like a lot of research, on our fighters, and we do, what we're supposed to do to move, correctly. And I think that makes a lot of sense because, he said that, he likes watching guys like Errol Spence and, Andre Ward and guys of that caliber. And, I think that's a really good mindset to have when you study guys like that, where, compared to Spence and Ward, like, they weren't heading into let the fire right away. They built themselves up properly, and they took on the tough challenges when their mind and body and skill set was, ready for it. And I think that should be like the right golden path ticket to get yourself ready for a title. But obviously, like people, will always, reply to that argument to say, well, you're not going to know if you're world title bound ready until you get in there. So it's like, I just say, just take on like the challenges now, as you're getting better while you're young. And then that way you don't have to like basically, basically pay, what the price later as you get older, because, that's where, the deterioration will, factor in.
Well, it depends. If you're talking about world class opposition, people that are pound for pound level, yeah, you're not really gonna know that where you're at unless you like no amount of preparation is actually gonna fight them because 9 times out of 10, unless they're complete fucking frauds, they're gonna be generationally unique. Like for example, there's not really a lot of preparation for somebody like a Mayweather, like a Spence, like a Crawford, like like a better be if there's not really a lot you could actually do to prepare adequately for them. So you're just gonna have to get in there. But with other fighters, people like Triple G, people like Canelo, people like people like Callum Smith, people like Daniel Dubois, you can train for those people. Like no matter how much they actually like, even Joe Joyce, you can train to beat a Joe Joyce. I mean, I'm not saying he's not talented or strong. I'm saying you can train to beat him. He's very beatable. It's the same, So he doesn't really have a lot of unique attributes. It's mostly that's why they call him the Juggernaut. He's just big and strong.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's hard to train for certain people, but there are certain folks you can train for adequately, and then there are certain folks you can't. Like Amilcar Vidal is one of those dudes. Yeah, you can adequately train to beat him. It's just like Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee is a sacrifice waiting to happen. This motherfucker is 28-0 and looks worse every time he comes out. He's got 22 knockouts against fucking nobody. Like, I honestly wanted them to sacrifice Brandon Lee to Gary Antoine Russell, but for some reason they keep preserving this kid.
Yeah, he's 27-0 with 23 knockouts, and he will be fighting Pedro Campa in his next fight.
Yeah, yeah. Like, bro, like, I, like I said, every time he comes out, he looks worse. So they need to just sacrifice this dude already. I mean, people. I mean, I was never like particularly high on him. I knew he was good, but it's just like, yeah, I don't. I see someone who's fast. I see someone who's reasonably strong, but sometimes he keeps his hands down. He's very vulnerable. His jab isn't as active as it should be. He struggles fighting off the back foot, and his ring IQ isn't very high. So yeah, I think that against the more top tier 140s, he's going to be some food. Like Matias, man, like I think all the champs would clear him. Puello, Matias, Regis, Taylor, all them niggas.
Shit, Wendelfo Delgado would beat him. Or maybe
Yeah,
Ponce,
maybe.
or maybe
Oh yeah, Ponce whoop his ass.
Ponce easily take that challenge.
Yeah, Ponce can fight. Ponce can actually fight. Like I said, he surprised me. I mean, I think his strategy was bad for specifically Matias, but I strongly believe that if Ponce fights everybody else how he fought Matias, he's not gonna lose again.
Yeah, he's not.
If he literally, this, yeah, literally, if he applies the same pressure, the same exact strategy to everybody else at 140 except Matias, he will beat all of them, Regis included.
Yeah, I think so. And the good thing about him is like he's like what, like 26 years old, I think. But he's at like the pinnacle of his career. So
yeah, those.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Did you say something?
Go ahead. No.
No.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that. I was just saying that that I think Ponce, he will be a world title threat if he works on those little fundamentals and just continues to get better if he applies that in the future.
Yeah, I mean, he fought on DAZN originally, so he's fought on all kinds of different platforms. So there should be no problem getting him over the top rank or getting him over wherever he needs to be. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely a threat. And if anybody, he's one of those fighters that if you play with him, you're gonna lose. Like he's a fighter that you can beat, but if you get in there and you play with him and you're not 100%, you're gonna lose. Like if Matias had an injury or something, he would have got his ass whooped.
Yeah, I think that's true. But
oh yeah, Ponce has a good gas tank, throws a lot of punches.
Yeah, like I was just gonna say, I wanted to ask you about the whole Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, encounters in the press.
I mean, it's cool. They're just selling their fight, and that's fine. I don't really think a whole lot about it. Again, they're just selling their fight, which is cool. You got to do that. You got to sell the fight. So, hey, congratulations. Good shit for Ryan finally taking the fight and ending all this fucking waiting. I still think there's a possibility that Ryan pulls out last minute and then Tank fights a late replacement. But, yeah, we will see. We will see what actually happens. I mean, it's a cool little fight, but honestly, I want it more so we can get it the fuck out of the way because I'm tired of seeing Ryan. I'm tired of people. Like, first of all, Ryan hasn't been an actual lightweight since he fought Luke Campbell. And people keep saying he's the top 5 lightweight. That motherfucker's been at 140 for his last 2 fights. Second of all, there's been absolutely no fight that's convinced me, oh my God, Ryan is super talented. Like, based off of what? What the fuck have you people seen to where you're like, oh, Ryan Garcia is this ultimate talent that makes it like, bro, I'm pretty sure people weren't even picking Ryan to beat dudes like Teofimo. Like everyone thought that if Ryan fought Teofimo at 135, Teofimo would stop him because he probably would because Ryan's a fucking goof. So it's like, and then you go back and you look at Ryan's career. First of all, he started at 130. A lot of people don't know that. Second of all, he's been like rocked by jabs. Like, you think Luke Campbell was the only one putting work on him? This one dude he fought his first fight at 135. This man had 12 fights, no, this man had 16 fights, 2 losses, and only 6 knockouts. He was rocking Garcia with a jab, man. Like, it's just like this guy
Yeah.
is never. He's never been this super all-star that people make him out to be. And people keep talking about his drawing power. He hasn't even done bigger events than Devin Haney. He definitely hasn't been clearing bigger checks. So, I mean, I just want them to get this shit over with so we can get to some actual boxing because I'm tired of this fucking shit. They're calling Tank the best and he's fighting all these marginal ass dudes.
Yeah. I think
Like,
that's
see,
sad, man.
that's another indictment. That's another indictment on today's boxing culture. Oh, he the best because he makes the most bread and gets a bunch of knockouts. Like, never. There was never a time in which people fucking really sincerely believe that bullshit. Like there were plenty of people that were heavier punchers than Muhammad Ali, but people didn't have the fucking people didn't just assume that those people were gonna wash Ali. Like George Foreman undoubtedly was a heavier puncher than Muhammad Ali, and he got his ass knocked the fuck out. So
Yeah.
it's like I can't stand these. You oh man, who have these people done? What have these people accomplished? Blah, 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 blah. What the fuck has Ryan done? Ryan has done nothing. Ryan has accomplished nothing. Ryan has knocked out fucking nobody. And they're like, oh my god, this is such a good fight. And then these dudes, they don't even think it's going to be a fucking challenge for Tank. They just know Tank is going to make a bunch of money. I'm like, why the fuck are you concerned about that? Y'all say Tank like it's just like when I talk about Devin Haney, they're like, oh, Devin Haney has no drawing power. Tank's last 10 opponents have had no drawing power. Why the fuck does that matter for him? And again, it's because these bitch dudes don't want to see a 50-50. They don't want to see their favorite fighter put in a position where they might actually struggle some. Like we got motherfuckers over here still got their panties still wet about Barrios. I'm like, man, talking about, oh yeah, Barrios will beat up Brian Garcia. I'm like, nigga, that's not good. If you're saying that, that means that Tank is going down in competition. You fucking idiot. Why would you say that Barrios at 140 will beat the shit out of Ryan Garcia if you're trying to big up Tank? That means Tank is going down in competition. I agree that Barrios will beat Ryan the fuck up. That's why I don't like this fight. But that's what dumbasses keep saying. Like, oh yeah, Barrios is better than Ryan, nigga. And then they'll say, oh fucking Hector Luis Garcia was better than Ryan. I'm like, okay, then Tank is going down in competition. You fucking idiots.
Yeah, I think Tank fans are turning into Bud Dick Riders, sadly.
I mean, Tank is smart with his advertising though, because he knows that goofy niggas worship rappers and rap culture and all that street shit. So Tank is taking advantage of that. So that's smart marketing on his part. That's why Tank has the tattoos. He hangs out with rappers, blah 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 blah. And Shakur is trying to copy the same kind of model, really. But yeah, Tank's marketing to that point is very intelligent. He's marketing himself beautifully. He's taking the proper angle. He's like, oh, he's the fighter from the streets, got it out the mud, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, like, do you know how many fighters have boxed their way out of poverty? Like Mayweather got his shit out the mud too, and I mean, Jesus.
And he literally got away from the black community or the
community. Yeah, not only that, but look at Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer got his shit out the mud too. Does he have a massive following? No. Like he's like you see what I mean? Like dudes like Charles Conwell, who's from the gritty streets of Ohio, got his shit out the mud too. Does he have a massive following? Look at Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford got his shit completely out the mud. Does he have a massive following? No. So like people keep talking about that's why like no, you like all that street wannabe gangster shit. All right, cool, bro. It sound good. But if he's such a gangster and a killer, then him fighting Devin Haney should be nothing. Why do you want him to fight this pussy Ryan Garcia who can't beat him? Ryan Garcia cannot beat him. Ryan Garcia will fuck around and lose to Isaac Cruz. I mean, like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's just sad. And I find it real weird that that it's happening like this, because it's like Gervonta and Shakur and all these weird fighters trying to act all gangster. Like, I feel like they're way smarter than that, and that's just a bad representation of poor imagery. And I think they're just taking advantage of it until they actually just come to reality and be like, all right, look, I'm not like that. I'm just a chill, hardworking man doing my own thing, blah blah blah. And I think they're just crediting to what you're saying. They're just taking advantage of of what the foolery that's giving them the power to like feed off of that stupid energy.
Yeah, and then these dudes always talk about and model themselves off Floyd. I'm like, bro, Floyd doesn't carry himself in the street manner or whatever, but Floyd was an actual gangster. That's why whenever I see these fantasy fights, I just move on because I'm like, bro, nobody from today's era, Devin Haney included, is fucking with Floyd between 130 and 140. He would smoke all these dudes. Like if Mayweather was fighting at 135, he would knock everybody the fuck out, Tank included. He would knock them all out. Tank, Haney, Shakur, Frank Martin, he would dust these dudes. Like Mayweather, yeah, like Mayweather was a fucking murderer. He didn't care about anybody. He wanted everybody. He wasn't moving all weird like these dudes complaining about money, all this bullshit. No, he said, "Fuck that. I want the best guy off top, and I'm gonna smoke his bitch ass." And that's exactly what he did. That's why he made as much money as he did. But all these other dudes, especially now that streaming is more popular and fewer people are actually paying for boxing, all these other dudes maneuvering and fighting all this garbage and all this stupid shit. Like, that's why whenever they do all the gangster thing, I'm like, yeah, it's cool. It looks cool. It brings out the celebrities or whatever. But it's played. It's played. But the reason why he has support is because his fans give him permission. Like, his fans, literally, if you see some of the shit they say, they do not want him fighting Devin Haney. They really cannot. They do not want Tank fighting the 135 Kingpin. They don't want him fighting him. And they keep saying, oh, well, it's not about the belts. Bro, even if Devin Haney had no fucking belts, he would still be the man to beat at welterweight. Just like he'd be the Jaron Ennis of lightweight. He'd be the nigga that everyone should be fighting to judge how good they are, and he's undefeated, almost 30 fucking fights, no belts, but probably arguably the best dude there talent-wise. That's all Devin Haney would be. But Devin Haney's in the driver's seat now, and people are like, oh, well, like, he has belts, and Tank said the belts don't matter. I'm like, motherfucker, if he didn't have belts, you'd be using that as an excuse to why Tank shouldn't fight him. Oh, who is this? He has no belts. Like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And also, let me say this shit loud and clear. Every fucking excuse all Tanks fans had for him not being able to fight Haney while Haney was fighting on DAZN have been formally debunked with Ryan Garcia. Every single fucking excuse has been debunked with Ryan Garcia. Oh, Devin Haney fights on DAZN. So does fucking Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia is actually signed to Golden Boy. Devin Haney was not actually signed to DAZN or Matchroom. He was a free agent that entire time. Oh, well, the promotional issues, they're allowing Showtime PPV and DAZN PPV. So basically, they're gonna Showtime is gonna allow DAZN to distribute the material. So that solves that problem. Oh, well, he's gonna move up to 140. Ryan Garcia has been at 140 since Luke Campbell. So they're solving that problem. So all your excuses are fucking done. As opposed to just being adults and saying, I don't want Tank to fight Haney like a fucking adult. That's all this bullshit. That's what I'm saying. These guys claim they're fucking boxing fans, but they're only concerned about somebody looking good. Like me, I want Devin Haney to fight Tank and guys like Tank because there's a reasonable possibility that he could lose. People think, oh, you think Haney gonna do something with fucking Tank? I'm like, what the fuck is Ryan Garcia gonna do? Ryan Garcia has been rocked, wobbled, and put on his ass by nobody. And he has less of a chance of beating Tank than fucking Haney does. Haney ain't got no power. Then why can't people seem to whoop his ass?
Shit, I would love to fight Devin Haney. Man.
I'm just saying, like, and then people talk, oh, well, the money. I'm like, bro, all of Devin Haney's opponents, like, people don't understand. A lot of Devin Haney's opponents get bigger guarantees than Tank's opponents. You could talk about the pay-per-views, but Tank don't be making these dudes rich like that. Why do you think they be so thirsty for another fucking go-around? Why do you think Cruz doesn't want to take another fight until he gets another Tank payday? Tank isn't making these guys fucking rich. I mean, he's the Canelo below 160, but he's not doing what Canelo does. He's not giving these dudes $10 million. He's not giving these dudes 12 million, $20 million. He's not doing that. These motherfuckers ain't rich out here.
Yeah, Gervonta is trying to rob the bank, but he's trying to do it the wrong way.
I don't mind Tank getting money, but people keep saying, oh, Tank gets money with whoever. I'm like, okay, so why are you so pressed about who the fuck he fights? When it's some fucking nobody that nobody is even checking for? Oh, that's a good fight. When it's literally one of the best fighters in the goddamn sport, oh, hell no. He ain't got no power. He can't sell shit. I'm like, man, you ignorant niggas, man. Like, I swear to God, bro. Like, this shit is just fucking corny.
Yeah. I was gonna finalize it to say, like, if Devin and Tank does happen, are you still picking Haney to pick to beat Gervonta?
Yep. Yep. And people like, what you gonna do if Haney lose? I'm like, I'm gonna say, damn, that was a good fight. Tank beat Haney. Tank is the man at 135. That's what boxing is. I'm not a bitch like some of you other dudes make all, just cry fucking all and disappear. When my fighters lose, I stay where I'm at. Like, I picked Wilder to beat Fury all 3 fucking times. So you can't be like, oh, you gonna run it high. No, I never do that. I never fucking do that. So, yeah, I'm gonna say it's a good goddamn fight.
Yeah. And I'm just hoping it happens because if I could see that fight, before.
Now that fight I'd go to. If you have that fight, like I was getting ready to go to Spence versus Crawford because my cousins already live in Las Vegas, so I wouldn't even have to pay for a fucking hotel. But right, yeah, I literally wasn't even gonna have to pay. So yeah, I was gonna go to Spence Crawford in Vegas. But if that fight's in Vegas, I'll go to that shit.
Yeah, I definitely would love to go. And same thing with Tank versus Haney or Tank versus Shakur. It don't matter. Like if that could happen before their careers are over, I
don't think Shakur is hard like that because I think Tank will beat Shakur. So I don't think that people are gonna cook me for it, but I personally don't think Shakur is tough like that. I don't think Shakur will fight Tank. I really don't think he would. I think he'd fight Haney, but I don't think he'd fight Tank.
Yeah, I think so. To ask you, what's your final prediction for Tim Tszyu versus Tony Harrison?
Well, as an American, especially a Black American, I am rooting for Tony Harrison all of the way, but I think Tszyu is gonna knock him out late. I think Tszyu is gonna knock him out late. I mean, Tszyu is big, he's strong, he's aggressive. He's a goofball that squares up his feet. So if Tony could get some early knockdowns and just not get stopped, maybe he can get a draw or potentially win the fight because it's in Australia. But Tim Tszyu, he's big, he's strong, he's relatively durable, goes to the body very well. Tony struggles with pressure. Tony struggles off the back foot, especially when it comes to heavy punches that go to his body. And also, Tony Harrison has been knocked out by people that are much less talented than him, especially when you get into the later rounds. And plus, he keeps his hands down a reasonably decent amount. So it's, yeah, I think Tszyu is going to be a little bit too much. And even if it goes to the cards, it's in fucking Australia. So what are Tony's chances, really? Tony would have to fuck around and knock him out.
Yeah, Tony has to do that. But I'm hoping he wins, but I think Tzew's gonna stop him.
Yeah. I mean, look at the people who stopped Tony Harrison. You got Charlo, which makes a lot of sense, and then you got dudes like Willie Nelson and Hurd. Like, look at Hurd. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but Tim Tszyu is better than Hurd.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Tim. I mean, I'm not gonna say way better, but Tim Tszyu is more defensively responsible than Hurd. Tim Tszyu would beat shit out of Jared Hurd right now.
Yeah.
Like prime Prime Hurd when Hurd was punching, yeah, maybe they were kind of similar, except Tim Tszyu got slightly better defense. But fucking right now, man, shit. Tim Tszyu will go up to 160 tomorrow and whoop Hurd ass, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, think that's about it. Like other than that, like I heard Danny Garcia and Lara, they they might fight each other for the WBA title next.
Because punk ass Triple G is out here ducking and vacating like a bitch. God damn, I cannot stand Triple G. But also, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of pissed off that Danny Garcia is passing up a lot of quality work at 154 to go up to a weird catch weight and fight Lara for a middleweight title. I'm kind of angry about that. But then again, Danny Garcia's fought a lot of tough competition in his career, and I want to give him a pass, but I am kind of irritated that he moved to 154 and he's not fighting any of the prime 154 pounders, especially after calling out Charlo and talking shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, like who? Like he thought he could just come up because he fights on Showtime and get a Charlo fight off top. Like, nigga, who the fuck are you? You think if you got your ass whooped by Spence and made some money, you just gonna come and cut the line? The fuck? You better fight someone. And then he fought garbage ass Benavidez, who's never been good in his entire life. And don't get me wrong, Danny showed some noticeable skill improvements, but I think somebody like Charlo would beat the shit out of him. And if Errol Spence move up to 154 and fight Danny, he gonna get knocked out. He gonna get knocked the fuck out of here. I'm gonna tell you that. But people for some reason are not giving Danny a chance against Lara, and I'm just like, who the fuck y'all think Lara is? Because y'all seen him knock out Cornflakes or whatever? Like, come on, dog. Like this version of Lara, like, was scared of Canelo's power. Danny can punch, goddammit. And I'm not saying that Danny is a Canelo level fighter. I'm just saying that Danny Garcia can punch. He's made some noticeable improvements. Working with Bozy and Jerron Ennis and all of them out in Philly. So I don't think it's gonna be like super easy pickings for Lara. The motherfucker is gonna be 40 next month. So let's not just let's not write Danny Garcia off like he's not Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia will punch the shit out of you. Not to mention though, Triple G apologists for some bitches. They're like, oh, Triple G is an old man. He's 40. He deserves to fight whoever he wants. First of all, Triple G's punk ass has been doing that since the fucking HBO days. Second off, Lara will be 40 next month. April 11th of next month, Arislandi Lara turns 40. So all that bullshit about how, Triple G's getting old, man, fuck out of here. Again, just some more bitch dudes who don't want to see Triple G get his ass whooped. Again, because Triple G got his ass whooped plenty of times already. It's like, what the fuck? Like, Danny Jacobs was a close-ass fight. Deverenchenko, I thought he lost. Canelo, close fight. Then Canelo whooped the shit out of him. Then Canelo whooped the shit out of him again. It's like, why are y'all protecting this bitch dude? He's done nothing. He's fought nobody. Like, honestly, like, no bullshit. He might be the prototype to Ryan Garcia-like career. The difference is some of the scrubs he fought had fucking belts.
Yep.
I mean, because come on, like Danny Garcia is like honestly, I mean not Danny Garcia, Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs at that time had been fucking knocked out by Pirog and shit. And then you come in, he's coming back from cancer and all that. It was a whatever type of fight. But with that outside of that first bullshit knockdown. Outside of that, Triple G probably fucking loses that fight, to be quite honest. Because that to me wasn't even a fucking knockdown. So outside of that bullshit, he probably fucking loses. But anyways, he struggles from that. Like some people say he convincingly beat Canelo, but he got robbed. Okay, comes back in the second fight, gets the fucking shit whooped out of him. So it's like this dude's whole career has been just failing to beat Canelo. That's it. That's his whole fucking career. Danny Jacobs and failing to beat Canelo. That's it.
Yeah. Man,
fucking trash.
Man, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I think we've already hashed out enough foolery in the sport of boxing. But yeah, like I'm definitely hyped for this weekend, and I can't wait for Plant Benavidez. That's like what, 2 weeks away? And then
Yeah, who we got? Who we got this weekend?
this weekend we have oh shit. We have Tim Zoo versus Tony Harrison, and then next weekend, and the other fight is Diego Pacheco and Jack Cullen, and then
Right.
the other boxing fight next week is who else is fighting next week? That will be who's fighting next week? Jesus. I know somebody else is fighting next week, but I forgot who. It's like another decent. Oh no, actually no, actually yeah. Like next week's gonna be trash. It's gonna be Gabe Rosado and Zerto. Yeah.
Oh my God! Right, I forgot that fight was even fucking happening. Goddamn, Zerto's fucking garbage. Zerto, Zerto's taking the page out of Canelo's book. Get your ass whooped by Bivol. Have a major fucking step down in competition. That shit is funny.
Yeah, and
Gabriel Rosado needs to fucking retire. He's got like 14 losses.
yeah,
Fucking garbage. I don't even understand. I don't even understand how Gabe Rosado still has a fan base. This dude has never. Gabe Rosado is a fighter that's literally never been good. He's always been known for getting the shit beat out of him. That's it. He's just a good tomato can. Like he's fucking never been good. Never won a champion. Never won a championship. And not only has he lost every single step up fights, he's lost fights against motherfuckers that suck ass. Like, like come on, bro.
yeah. Also, we have Ramirez and Comey. They're gonna fight on March 25th, same day with David Benavidez, right?
Nah, fuck Ramirez. He dug Regis program because he didn't want to get his ass whooped.
Yeah.
Fucking pussy ass bullshit.
Yep. And then, in April, April's gonna be lit. There's gonna be a lot of big fights. Besides from the two top ranked fights, like you got Shakur and Yoshino Bino, and then
that's not a big fight. Shakur fighting the niggas that does hibachi.
Hibachi.
That's not a big fight, man. That's just Shakur. That's the guy who Shakur was always gonna fucking fight, bro. First of all, this motherfucker goes around calling out a bunch of people that aren't even on top rank. Like, oh, let me go call out Isaac Cruz. Okay, yeah, Isaac Cruz ducked you. Yeah, the motherfucker has no jab. Surprise. Cambosa just had his ass whooped twice by a pure boxer. Why the hell would he go into a Shakur fight off top? And then he calls out William Zepeda out of goddamn nowhere. Like, what? There's a bunch of people on top rank you could be fighting, and you do all that bullshit just to turn around and fight Yoshino. Like, bro, come on now, stop it.
Yeah, and I just don't understand. Like, why are you fighting this guy? This is like a waste of time, and because
he has a common opponent in Lomachenko. Lomachenko knocked out Nakatani, and so did Yoshino. So they can go, oh man, the fucking Yoshino is a fucking monster because he knocked out Nakatani. Like, people to this day, people cannot tell me what the fuck made Nakatani good. He came over here, got his ass whooped by fucking Tiafimo. He got a little win over Verdejo, that fucking axe murderer, and then he got his ass whooped again by Lomachenko. What made Nakatani certified? Like, what made him some fucking ultimate badass? Be like, oh shit, you whooped Nakatani? What the fuck? Like what? Like, well, I don't. I swear these dudes just pick these motherfuckers out of nowhere.
I mean, what if this Japanese guy actually comes out and whips on Shakur Stevenson?
I'll fucking laugh. I actually inboxed him. I actually messaged him on Twitter with some tips to make the fight interesting, because I don't want it to be another stinker where Shakur just comes in and runs over this dude like I knew he was going to do to Valdez. So I actually want this fight to be interesting, to see a different version of Shakur, because Shakur hasn't had to really change up his fighting style, because he's been fighting dudes that don't really challenge him where he needs to be challenged. Like, Shakur is a master boxer, so boxing with Shakur is stupid. You need to go in there and fight Shakur. You need to force him to fight. You need to dog him. You need to punch while Shakur is punching. So, I hope that this person and his team understand that. You need to punch with him, and most importantly, you can't punch at him. You can't punch where he is. You need to punch where he's going to be. because Shakur is a very rhythmic fighter, but he can be timed. And Shakur himself said that he was concerned about Nakatila's power. So I'm like, shit, if you're scared of Nakatila, I want to see if somebody put some actual work in. Let's see what they do.
Yeah. I think Shakur is just a big upset waiting to happen to him.
I don't think he's gonna lose. I just want the fight to be like somewhat interesting. I don't want it to be a complete slaughter. And also, I want to see if he's actually the guy everyone says he is. People are like, oh, pound for pound, he washes everybody. I'm like, okay, that sounds great. Based off of what? Like like the people he's fought, I wasn't giving them a chance to beat him. I wasn't giving Valdez. I knew Valdez had no fucking chance to beat Shakur. I knew Herring had no fucking chance to beat Shakur. I knew Conceição was not going to beat Shakur. Did I think he would make the fight interesting? Sure. But did I think he was going to win? Fuck no.
Yeah. Yep. That is going to be crazy. Yeah, but
yeah, I don't think this dude is going to win either. I just want it to be interesting.
Yeah, I think Shakur is gonna try to, make the fight more brawlish, but I think he's gonna get into a lot of unnecessary punishment.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but that's about it. I guess we'll see. What happens this week.
Yep, indeed.
Alrighty. I'll see you after the fights.
Alrighty, thanks for having me on. You have a good one.
Alright, peace out. Alright, guys. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Here's the outro. Goodbye.